Okay, also, I've noticed a strange discrepancy in your inventory and sales ledger. You can see here it shows that you buy a case of Johnny Walker Black per month and that you sell 2 cases per month.
Yeah.
Okay, and that same thing holds true of every liquor that you sell. Can you explain that?
Yeah, I can, but I don't want to.
Why is that?
Because it's not a good explanation.
Do you want me to say it for you? Because I think we both know what we're talking
sure.
about. You're watering down the liquor.
Yeah.
By 50%.
Yeah.
That's indefensible.
That's why I didn't want to say it.
Why would you do that?
Why? Because you make twice the money. What's wrong with this guy?
How can you do that to your customers?
You know what would happen if we served unwatered whiskey to these rummies? Half of them would have been dead years ago. These aren't customers. They're alcoholics.
Sir, that is a deception. That is a terrible deception.
Oh, all right. Hey, look, everybody, listen up. Get out of the way. Listen up. Just want to let you know we've been watering down your drinks for years, for 100 years. So when you get a shot, it's about half booze, half water. Anybody have a problem with that?
I know it. This place is so awesome.
9 billion names of pod.
From Atlanta, where it's cheap to film television shows, just saying, it's the 9 Billion Names of Pod with Dan Bauman and Michael Reed. I'm Dan Bauman.
I'm chock full of angst and existential dread.
So let's talk about some stuff.
Well, I've had enough drinks, so I guess it's time to play part 2. Another thing I'm enjoying, I'm hoping that it gets a little more subtle, taking on
Politics.
current events. Politics are taken on, but not only electoral, but personal as well. Remember the Tinder date?
Yes.
With my God, that kid, 19, 20 at the most,
Yeah.
with a girl probably mid-30s.
I think her name is Lynn Koplitz. I think she's another comic because I've seen her before, and I think she's another comic, and she's 40 easy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's
but
pushing 40.
It basically explored a little bit the politics of Tinder, and he's like, I'm here, basically, without saying it, I'm here to fuck. And she's like, well, you're going to have to drink with me a little bit and be nice to me, and
before we do that.
Before we do this. But him giving her almost nothing, she's like, oh, yeah,
definitely
we're still going to fuck. It's just that.
And that's also a social commentary on, millennials and how they
exactly
how they conduct themselves in the world.
Right. And I like the way that it takes on that stuff. It also takes on, a little too obviously for my taste, in the 4th episode, abortion. There was that whole top of the show talk at the Uncle Pete going, she's going to hell, or the baby's going to hell.
Oh, the whole purgatory.
And then they talk about,
limbo, purgatory.
Right,
blah,
exactly.
blah, blah, all that
and
stuff.
it's a good kind. It seemed a little too. I am now going to write something about abortion for them to talk about, and it was good. It just maybe buy me dinner first before you slip abortion in.
Well, I really did like though the scene that took place at the bar, that it didn't have Horace or Pete or even Uncle Pete. It was the three guys talking about I think it was Nick DiPaolo. There was the liberal and the conservative and the guy in the middle.
I think he was the guy who walked in.
Yeah,
I stand for this, and just be nice and be open-minded.
Well, basically what he said was, how he looked at the conservatives and said, how do you describe liberals? And he went on a big rant, and then he said, okay, the liberal, how do you describe conservatives? And blah, blah, blah. And then he flipped it and said, okay, to the conservative, how do you describe conservatives? And he explained that, and then he said to the liberal, how do you describe liberals? And he explained that. He's like, well, maybe if you took each other's point of view, if you took his point, maybe you could meet in the middle. And I was like, God damn it, that's That's really
They-
profound.
Louis had some definite restraint there, whereas if I was writing that scene, it'd be 3 times as long and 100 times more vitriolic against the conservative.
right. But what he
So-
said made sense on both sides of it.
Right.
know?
And I like the fact that on these issues, he's putting them out there, and maybe you can glean where Louis leans personally, but for the most part, it's like, no, he gives the other side a chance to talk about this, the abortion, the conservative, and
It really is a fair point of view on both sides.
yeah. And getting back to the Tinder date, that right there. I mean, I didn't even know about Tinder until lately, and read up on it. I was like, holy crap! It's just like, let's like get to bone from your phone or something.
That's
like
exactly
that.
what it is. It's,
And so that definitely informed watching that scene. Like, wow, they both was it left, right? What they swiped the yes,
swipe right, I think is
swipe
yes.
right. All right, swipe.
God, we're old.
Get off our lawns! Stop your swiping! Go down the street with your swiping. They both swiped right, and he was of the mind that, and why are we not fucking now? And she was like, I want to have at least a pretense of getting to know you for a half second
Yeah.
before you
He didn't want to drink. He was just
No.
kind of staring at his phone. Or
He's just
whatever.
like, whatever, then do your drinking, and then we'll, And that comes up again when the cocktail waitress gets the booty call, the former cocktail waitress.
Oh, yeah.
Gets the booty call from Horace, but it's not. It's kind of a booty call, but I think he just wanted someone's shoulder to cry on.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
because he definitely wasn't putting on a brave face, and in the end, he's like, "Yeah, we're not fucking because
You're too sad.
yeah."
I can't fucking
and she said something that that is so true.
Mm-hmm.
Horace, I didn't fuck you because you were hot. I fucked you because you were funny.
Yeah.
Now, I have been cute and less cute, attractive and less attractive in my life.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, a sense of humor will get you over almost anywhere.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Anywhere. If you want to be a sad sack, you better be fucking gorgeous.
Yes. Yeah,
I mean,
And if you're a regular looking guy and you're really funny,
Right.
that really ups your
right.
stock.
I have a friend. He is a short gentleman. I'd
Mm-hmm.
say maybe 5'4", 5'5". He's short,
Mm-hmm.
but he has a sense of humor and a personality that is like 6'7".
Yeah.
And he has pulled some women that were out of anybody's league. I mean, like goddesses, like, oh my God. And that's the power of the
Yeah.
personality. Horace don't have that.
No.
Maybe he had that at one point, but life is beating him the fuck down.
Well, you can also see, I think, going back to his self-loathing, what was in the first episode, he had a girlfriend who lived there.
Oh, yes.
Who seemed
Rachel.
to be Rachel, who seemed great and fun and seemed like she really, really cared for him.
Yeah.
And like she comes
Bubbly.
back bubbly, and she comes back from the farmer's market and has got all his food, and he basically says, I think you should move out. And you can see it's like, he's not saying it, but he feels, I don't deserve you because I'm a piece of shit. So I don't deserve to be happy, so you should not be here.
Well, you know what was the instigation of him doing that?
What?
He was talking with Alice at the bar,
Right.
his daughter. And he said, why don't you come in? Oh, no, you're living with Rachel. I wouldn't want...
Oh, that's right.
And he took that
Because she
as...
lost her apartment.
Right. This is like, okay, so if Rachel goes away, then, because he wants to reconnect with his kids. I mean, he basically fucked up his marriage, his relationship with his children.
Yeah.
Beyond repair, at least at this point, with the son, and just barely getting there a little bit with... But it's an uneven relationship now because she can shut him down at any point. The power dynamic is completely off when it comes to, even an adult, your mom or dad can have a word with you, and there's a little bit like parent talking.
Yeah.
Not with that one.
No,
I mean,
no.
she'll just say, no, sorry,
No,
Horace.
she doesn't have respect for him.
Right, exactly.
Much less, any parental obligation.
or
feeling.
respect.
Respect, yeah.
Exactly. So he thought, okay, I'm going to make this huge sacrifice by giving up a woman that theoretically I care for. She's living with me. And when Alice finds out, she's like, Are you fucking kidding me?
She was good for you.
No,
she says.
no.
Yeah.
You know,
But he doesn't get her back. He doesn't like.
No,
ask her-
you don't come back from that.
Right.
I mean, you know, that's like you dump somebody and then a month later, you're like, I want to get back together. I mean, what right person in their right mind would do that?
Right.
Because, like, yeah, I thought I was on solid ground. Then you pulled it out from under me. Now you're putting the ground back, but you could pull it out again. I'm not putting myself in that position.
No.
You know, there's a number of relationships that I might have wanted to get into, but it's like, yeah, no, that's I don't trust you. I like you. We were hanging out. You're hot and sexy, and I don't trust you not to utterly destroy me.
Right.
So, and in the case of Horace, it's like, destroy me, not destroy me, whatever.
I think that's part of the problem because he's trying to reconnect with his daughter while trying to torpedo his own life, you know, like,
or just not caring about his life.
yeah, that's his whole attitude on the bar.
It's like, I don't care. And literally, like,
That's
you
what
know,
he says.
Uncle Pete is just going like, this bar, history. Like, I don't care.
I don't care is all he said.
And you remember the bombshell that was dropped during Uncle Pete. We're not
yeah.
going to reveal it, but
No.
holy fuck.
yeah, what a turn.
And this
that
isn't him
was.
using foul language. This
No.
is something that's
Yeah, we won't give that one away, but there's a turn in the middle of that there's a haymaker in there that you will not see coming.
No, you will absolutely not see
Yeah,
it coming.
so-
Like, impossible to see it coming. And when you and they don't even realize it until
The end of the
well, it's
conversation.
like it
Wait,
was,
did I just fucking hear what I heard?
But
Is
even later on upstairs, like, I think it was in episode 2.
yeah,
I think it was episode,
it's
like, I was out of it there for a bit on my
Yeah, did I
medication.
hear what I-
Did I hear what I thought I heard?
Yeah. So,
Holy fuck, you
so
know.
we
and
won't-
of course, Horace is like, what difference is, you know, we're in
Yeah.
our 50s now. Who
Yeah,
gives a
yeah,
shit? I'm like,
yeah.
that's kind of big.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Tell me what you think your favorite scene is, because I think I have a scene that I think was amazing.
God, it's so fucking tough to.
Okay, that's an unfair thing. Let me just tell you.
Tell me
mine.
what yours is. I mean, I can narrow it
Because-
kind of down.
because
But if it's okay, tell me what yours is. I'm dying because of
the scene, because it took me a minute to realize what was going on.
okay, who are the players in the scene?
Horace and Jessica Lange. I can't remember.
Oh,
You know what scene I'm talking about?
I know, and this is genius. The way they let's just say in Horace and Pete, in episode I want to say 2.
Yes, I think it's 2.
Yeah, there's a fantasy sequence, but it's done in the most wonderfully awesome way.
Because you don't realize that it is that until it's...
The way it is written is perfect, absolutely perfect. It leads you down a path. And
because I was sitting there going, oh, no, don't. That's just, no, don't. And then I realized, oh, wait, that's not what's going on.
And then, why did he say it like that?
Oh.
Yeah, this is another... There's a fantasy sequence.
Yeah, we won't give that one away.
And I love that. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm going to put it out there. I mean, Louis C.K. is a decent actor. I think he's a little bit out of his depth with these hard-hitting players, these motherfucking, like, cast from, you know. He's holding his own, but he's not on par
that's
with,
why I think why he's playing the sad sack, because he can do that.
Because he does that.
Yeah.
But I tell you, the writing
Yeah.
is A-list.
Absolutely.
I'm
Absolutely.
like, this is the kind of shit that I. The reason I love the show so much is because it is right in the vein of the shit that I like to write. I like with a little more levity in the stuff that I do. Not that, I mean, I can't go sad sack 724.
No.
But it just, you know, sometimes you hear a song and it's like, I know this song. I could have written this song, you know, even though I don't write music, but it seems so natural and like it's a part of I get this.
Yeah.
It's right there. Like, wow, how come this wasn't something that I did? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, there's songs that
Don't say Rush.
It's not, actually. There's a couple of bass lines of songs that I'm like, God, I wish I wrote that. It makes so much sense.
But I'm talking more than that. It's there's like a familiarity to something, and you know that you've never heard it before.
Yeah.
Like it's a brand new
Oh,
song.
yeah, okay.
And you're just like, did somebody raid my subconscious? Because it seems like it was, I could have written this, or like it's in my voice in a way. That's the kind of the way I feel about Horace and Pete. I'm not quite as sad sack depressing in my writing or in my own
Life.
life as that. He's more to mope and say nothing when he's in pain. I'm more likely to make a joke when I'm in pain.
Yeah.
So, but it comes from the same place, and that's why I just identify with his writing so fucking much. And what I was getting to say is that, he's holding his own, but he's definitely being outshone acting wise on that show. But I tell you, I mean, obviously he's in Horace and Pete. I don't ever want him to change that. But if he never does any other acting again outside of Horace and Pete and just writes, I would be thrilled with that.
Yeah.
Not because I don't like him as an actor at all. I mean, he's fine. Just the writing is so fucking good. You only have so much creative energy. Put it into the writing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm hoping this show just lasts for fucking ever.
Well, again, the nature of it, it's going to go as long as he feels like doing it. I think.
Well, you got to have him. I mean, I suppose Buscemi could die and his son could show. I mean, there's a way to continue this and not a jump.
I'm not talking about story wise. I'm talking about Louis. He at one point may say, "Okay, there's enough of that, and I'm moving on to something else."
Yeah, and he may say it's time to do a season of Louis now to go back to FX.
Yeah.
Make some big bucks and
and to pay for this.
And it's hopefully. I mean, I have no idea what television budgets are for something like this. I guess some people I could talk to and try to figure it out. I guess, but I'm guessing that he may need to make some of that Louis money.
Oh yeah.
But what I would like to think is that people are so invested in the show, like I am, that not only are they buying their episodes, but they're buying them for other people.
I think he needs to promote it more.
It's there's been zero. Now, there have been articles written about it, but it's not like, he has a press agent going, write about this, and we're going to do a press availability here. He's like, I'm just making a fucking show.
Well, like I said, I'm pretty tapped into entertainment news. I keep abreast of that stuff pretty well, and you're the only person I've heard talk about it at all.
Yeah.
So I think he definitely needs to get a little bit more press out there to get more people on it. Yeah, it's a very niche thing.
It is, and maybe that's part of his plan. It's like, I just want the work to work for itself and go through word of mouth and see. And that's possible.
If he puts it out there and doesn't care how many people watch it, like he's not trying to
right, he's not going to retire off of Horace and Pete money, at least at this point.
It really just seems like I need to do this, and I need to do it as best as I can.
This is a creative thing that I have to get out of me.
Right. And
win, lose, or draw, I have to produce this. This is the thing I need to do. If it fails, it fails, but I have to make it. But
again, I don't think it could fail.
Financially, it could fail. Artistically, it's
right.
Gonna
That's
win.
what I mean.
It's going to win forever.
I don't even think it could. I just mean like the concept of failure. There is none because he's succeeding by doing it.
Doing it is success.
That's all he cares about, and I totally respect.
But then there are real world practical.
Well, he just might not be able to make more of it,
right?
Or as many as he wants to.
From Louis C.K.'s statement on his website. Mm-hmm. Hello, friend, guy, lady, or other. Some of you are aware that last Saturday I launched a new series on my site called Horace and Pete. I'm writing now to tell you some stuff about it. Horace and Pete is a new show that I am producing, directing, writing, distributing, and financing on my own. I have an amazing cast: Steve Buscemi, and that's Pete. Edie Falco, that's Sylvia. Alan Alda, Uncle Pete. Jessica Lange, Marcia. Adie Bryant, that's Alice. Mm-hmm. Stephen Wright, Leon. Kurt Metzger, and I don't remember
his name. I think it's Kurt.
Is it Kurt?
Yeah.
And other guest stars. Guest stars.
Yeah.
I mean, Laurie Metcalf, I don't know what the rules are for consideration for this shit, but Emmy, motherfucker. Emmys.
I don't know.
What Orange is the New Black got Emmys out the ass. They're a web-only series, but they're with the big,
Yeah.
There's not a marketing campaign with Horace and Pete, but as far as I can tell.
What are the parameters, though, of the Emmys?
Right.
Because
is it eligible? And maybe Louis like, yeah, it's eligible. I'm not submitting it. I
Yeah.
don't want your fucking awards. And you know what?
probably not. Well,
I'm
knowing
not-
him, he would be like, if anything, he would submit the other actors. Like
Oh, yeah, no, he
Alan
wouldn't.
Alda and
No, he
Larry
wouldn't.
Metcalf and Steve Buscemi. Like, you guys.
I mean, quite frankly, Laurie Metcalf should win for best guest appearance. Hands fucking down.
Alan Alda for best supporting.
Would he be supporting?
Yeah, totally.
I mean, I think it's Horace, Pete, and Uncle Pete, I think, are the three main. Well, God, but also Jessica
No,
Lange.
he would be support. I don't know.
Would he be supporting? Anyway. But I mean.
But
if-
again, like I think it all started with House of Cards. I think that was the first
big successful
streaming show
web.
that got nominated for an Emmy, out of nowhere.
A lot of them.
I'm sure it was the same thing with cable. I'm sure it was, before The Sopranos or whatever.
Right. Well, there's a time when all the Emmys went to broadcast, and now it's the inverse.
Right.
You're lucky to get maybe a third of the Emmys, not cable shows. I think one of the years, in the last 2 or 3, all but one of the dramas nominated were all cable.
Oh, yeah.
Because you had Breaking Bad, you had Mad Men, and all these shows
Yeah.
that were just so phenomenal. There could be some okay stuff on network, but why?
My fear is that, to put it bluntly, does it count as a TV show? Does Horace and Pete count?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I mean, in the eyes of the Emmys,
Oh,
that's what I mean.
Hey man, there's no laugh track, and one's a
Well, it's not on TV. It's not on. You
and
can
one's
only
30
buy it,
minutes,
and-
then it's 42 minutes, then
So-
it's an hour. I don't understand.
So again, I think that's why that'll fall away because it doesn't. It
I don't know. I'd be interested to see what the rules. I could ask my friend Melanie. She's she's all up in TV.
maybe.
She's working on the new Mystery Science Theater.
Oh, that's right. You told me that.
Yeah,
That's
and she
pretty
just
cool.
she wrapped up the last season of Children's Hospital.
Nice.
Hell yeah, it's good to know people.
Hell yeah, it
It's
is.
good to know people.
But like I said,
I mean, if Louis wants it to get awards, I want him to get those awards.
yeah.
But I guess the key for that is you have to put it up, because it's not like the Emmy Association, for lack of a better term, just looks at you show, we nominate you. It doesn't work that way. You have to submit. That's why Nurse Jackie sometimes, or was it Orange Is the New Black? Sometimes it's submitted as a comedy,
yes.
sometimes as a drama, because they don't reach out and tap shows. Shows go, please, sir, can I have another Emmy?
Right.
And then it goes through that process. So if he wants it, he should put it up. And I think it should, just for writing, and Alan Alda and Jessica, hell, all of them, damn it.
Right. I think at this point he's just trying to.
I'm just trying to
keep it
make the
alive.
damn show.
Yeah, I'm gonna make. I'm not gonna worry about that.
And this is new. I can't think of any other main. There's tons of little web series. Broad City started out but that's a different kind of scale. This is.
See, Louis is all about breaking down walls because he was the one. He got what everyone started calling "I want the Louis deal," which was he got to go to FX and have almost complete control of the
Give me
Louis
money,
show.
and then I will turn in a show, and you don't say shit and go fuck off if you don't like
Right,
it.
and they went for it, and you see how that went, and now he's just going the step further and saying, I'm not even going to bother with the damn network. I'm just going to make exactly what I want.
Have you kept up with, have you watched Louis?
Not a lot. I've seen some of it. I saw some of the first season.
Watched every single episode, and it started at a place that was a little more. He was never trying to do the Seinfeld thing where it's like, hey, I'm doing some stand-up and now some wacky stuff happens.
Yeah.
It's never been that. But by the time he got to the last 2 seasons, there was still a little bit of stand-up happening, but it was small art house films that were gorgeous.
Yeah.
So well written and so well done. And like, God, it lingers with you. And that's what they're doing, with Horace and Pete on agreed a much smaller budget and scale.
Right.
And I'm so thrilled about this. I'm thinking, gosh, let's do this. Let's put this on an actual stage. Let's do a local production of I want to do the pilot. Seriously, I'm not fucking around. I want to do the pilot of Horace and Pete on an actual stage.
Interesting.
You only need two settings.
Yeah.
You need the bar and the apartment. That's it.
I've done shows with less.
Exactly. Just, get it done at the Alliance, use the turntable from Tuck Everlasting, and just, whoop, now we're in the bar, whoop, and
I
now...
don't even think you need to go that far.
No.
Have one corner of the stage be the bedroom, and then the rest of
What
the
are you
bar.
saying, that I'm not a set designer? Well, fuck you. Just because I've never designed a set in my entire life doesn't mean I'm not a set... Yeah, okay.
I'm just saying it's cheaper to do it my way.
Oh, cheaper. Okay. So continuing on, Paul Simon wrote and performed the theme song, which is beautiful.
Yep.
Yes, Louis, it is beautiful. It's like look at my iTunes now, and this is number 50 most played songs. The theme song to Horace and Pete is up there with multiple plays. The response to episode 1 has been great so far, and there are more coming. We are making them now and are having a lot of fun doing it. Part of the idea behind launching it on the site was to create a show in a new way and to provide it to you directly and immediately without the usual promotion, banner ads, billboards, clips that tell you what the show feels and looks like. This is what we're talking about. When you start watching this, there's no...
Like I said, I had no idea.
I saw the trailer for this new show or the ad. Nothing. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
I thought it could have easily been...
How did you find it? Let me ask you that. How did you find this?
Oh, geez. I don't know. and it's only like 3 weeks old that I mean, maybe it was on NME. They had a little thing like Louis C.K. launched a show or whatever.
So what compelled you? I mean, I know
It's Louis C.K.
Okay.
Fuck it. I mean, the guy's a fucking genius. I mean, just based on Louis.
Okay.
I mean, maybe if Louis didn't exist, I'd be like, it's another comedian with another show. Pfft, whatever.
Right.
Because we've all been, give the comedian a show, and 9 times out of 10, they're fucking awful.
Yeah.
Not all of them can be Seinfeld or Newhart or these other classics. But after Louis, I thought, oh, he's doing another show? Oh, wow, he's doing it kind of unusual. Okay. And I'm going to admit, I BitTorrented the debut episode. I did.
You naughty person.
I did. Well, because I didn't understand the model that he was putting this out.
Right.
And at the end of it, I went, I want to read everything there is about it. I read about it and went, oh, fuck, this is him doing this. This is directly cheating him out of money. And I immediately bought the pilot episode. Since I already had it, I bought it for 4 other people.
Right.
So it's like, okay, soul is clean now.
Yep.
And from that point forward, I've been buying the episodes. But from now, when's your birthday coming up? Is April?
Me?
Yeah.
March.
You already got the episodes. Goddammit! Everyone this year is getting.
I'll have to buy them now and
Yeah,
give them to
exactly.
somebody.
Everybody is going to get the pilot episode of Horace and Pete for me. That's just the way that's going to be, and that's I feel like I want to be an apostle for this show.
That's good.
I think
Hopefully we'll get some eyes on it from this episode.
Hopefully. I mean, hey, Louis, give us a ring if you're actually listening to this.
Yeah.
If you've listened this far, then obviously you don't hate the sound of our voices. Gosh, I mean, I would really like to sit at that bar. Seriously, you think of your favorite film and just to step on that set.
Oh, yeah.
Don't even need the actors. I mean, if they're there, that's great. Just to be in, for me, it's always the St. Elmo's Fire Bar. Just to walk in that and go, holy fuck, I'm in here. I would like to go and sit at that bar and just I'll even bring my own drink and just drink one drink at that bar, even if there's nobody else there who gives, and just go, fuck, I drink at Horace and Pete's. God damn, that's the most awesome thing ever. And I don't know where I'm assuming they film it in New York. It has to be because that's where Louis lives.
Then it has to be. Yeah,
And
I would maybe Silver Cup Studios or something.
Yeah.
That's.
But or dear God, maybe he found a place and just decided to. Well, no, with the cameras,
It would have to be the big studio is Silver Cup, where they did 30 Rock,
right?
Which was also where at the end of Highlander, where they have the big fight and on the big sign that says Silver Cup Studios. That's right.
There
on Long
could be
Island
only
City.
one until there's a second movie, and then
Yeah. Which is.
But I mean, think if you had the opportunity, if through the magic of whatever, you could go back to 1976 and get on the set
Oh yeah,
of Star Wars, like walk the corridor of the Death Star or the
story,
hangar.
Well, the story of Kevin Smith walking on the rebuild of the Millennium Falcon.
Exactly.
He said, I took one step and I was 25 years old, and I took another step and I was 12 years old. I
Exactly.
took another step and I was crying.
Exactly.
I totally understand.
And that's kind of my Horace and Pete thing. Like, I want to, and I'm not even a big drinker. I just want to go and have a drink at that bar. I don't give a shit if anyone else is there.
You seem to have you're having the same reaction I had to Firefly when it was on. Like, I watched Firefly, and we all know the story of how Fox jerked it around. Because I watched all the promos were for the episode Serenity Part 1 and 2. Which they didn't
show.
air.
Yeah,
they showed the cobbled together train job, which is a fine episode. It kind of it gives you what's going on, but the whole mystery of the girl in the box is all gone. And by the second episode, I said something's going on with this show, and it's my favorite TV show.
yes.
I just knew innately.
Like,
This is my favorite thing.
it's like, I went to go see this little band in Germany. They were pretty good. It's the Beatles. You feel something's happening, not knowing how ultimately great it really was.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about Horace and Pete. Like this, I may have all the episodes that I bought, but fuck, when it comes out on Blu-ray, I will buy it. I will buy the fuck out of it, just because maybe there's additional material or just a hard copy that, can't be corrupted or a hard drive crashing. Seriously. Well, you know what a pack rat I am for DVDs and stuff like that.
But it's the internet. It'll never go away. It'll always be there.
I know. But seriously, it's,
Right.
Continuing on with what Louis was talking about. He said that he wants you to see it before you know what it looks like. He says, as a writer, there's always a weird feeling that as you unfold the story and reveal the characters and the tone, you always know that the audience will never get the benefit of seeing it the way you wrote it because they already know so much so much before they watch it. And as a TV watcher, I'm always delighted when I can see a thing without knowing anything about it because of the promotion. Makes sense. I mean, a network invests a lot of money into a show. They want as many eyes on it as possible.
Right.
So they were, this is why you get some of these trailers that they reveal way too fucking much about the movie because they want to get you in the seat. And it turns out to be the whole story and all the best scenes. And you're in the theater going, I could have just watched the trailer again and be done with it.
I wish trailers were done like some teaser trailers where it's not, they don't show you anything from the movie. They make a thing about the movie, but they don't show you anything in the movie. You know what I mean? Like, give me a little prologue, if anything.
Yeah, or something where like you get flashes to give you maybe a tone of what you're coming in for.
But not
maybe.
even that, Just don't. I want to know what's out there, but I don't need to see everything. You know what I mean?
That's never going to happen.
I know, it can't. I mean,
because we can appreciate stuff like that, but then other people are like, I don't know what
I don't
it's
know
about.
what it is. I'm not going to see
I'm
it.
never going to go see it, or the trailer used a 4-letter word. Or a 25-cent word,
Yeah.
I don't understand.
I don't
that.
know what that is.
What's on
I stopped watching Star Wars trailers. I stopped watching Force Awakens trailers. I don't know, in October.
I didn't. I watched. Them.
I had to, or if I did, I would watch them once and then get away because I just was, I stopped watching like the TV spots. I was like, I can't see too much of this. I need to go in cold.
But I think they handled the Star Wars stuff pretty well. Where they
they did.
They
didn't-
previewed
they
like
didn't
the
give
first
anything
20,
away.
30 minutes tops.
Yeah.
To kind of give you a feel with a little flashes
Right.
and then so.
Right. I totally respect what Louis is saying.
Oh, exactly.
Love it.
Because that's something that's very fucking rare. Where
It's impossible.
Like-
He did it.
right. Yeah, and that's because he's fronting
Exactly.
and maybe that's that helps him out with the budget. Maybe he might have wanted to have done some promotion, but budget constricts that.
Right.
Sounds like he didn't. So good. That's another line item I have to fucking worry about.
Yep.
Now at a certain point, it may reach a peak where maybe some articles being written, maybe some maybe this episode.
Well, once it's out, I mean, you can't. stop people from finding out what it is.
Right. But they're going to
from the
find
word
out
go,
they're going to find out about it from the episode.
yes.
It's not like they're going to stumble across a trailer or a teaser
Right.
that Louis
But
put
even
out.
now, even like you said, with like this podcast and other people, people are going to talk about
Right, talk about it,
But
exactly.
to get that first episode produced and out to the public before anybody knows what it is
Yep.
is unbelievable that he pulled it off, and genius. And
I honestly think that this might start something with certain actors or writers that have the kind of clout that Louis does, where like, hey, I want to do this thing. Let's, no agents, handshake deal. I mean, I don't know what the deals are with the actors, but I wouldn't put it like, let's do this. Let's handshake on it. No contracts. Everyone gets the same amount. I mean, I don't know how Louis working it, but like
I'm sure he's not paying anybody what they're worth. But
oh God, no.
But again, like I said, it's like a Woody Allen thing. It's like people aren't. That's not why they're doing it. It's because I want to work with Louis on a thing.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
Fucking JJ. Not to derail you again, but JJ Abrams seems like he's pulled off a Cloverfield trailer without anybody knowing about it.
Yep. I didn't know it was happening.
I didn't. No one did. No one knew about it until the trailer came out.
But as it's a sequel to Cloverfield, we already know what it's. Well, we know some backstory, but it looks like this is a little more conventional film. This is not found footage bullshit.
No, and it's
Good.
Is
You
it,
can only go so far with that.
Is it Cloverfield? Is it are there monsters out there? We
It's
don't know.
10 Cloverfield Lane. There's something happening outside.
Yeah.
Who knows what it could be?
Right.
So I'm a big fan of that. So Louis goes on, so making the show and just posting it out of the blue gave me the rare opportunity to give you that experience of discovery.
Mm-hmm.
It literally is like flipping through records in a record store, pulling out an album and go, huh, that's an interesting cover. Let's see what the music's about. And it becomes your favorite fucking record. Or you go, oh my God, what a piece of shit. Why did I get sucked into, that happened with me with a band called Arson Garden. What a great name. Music was awful. Not in this case. Also because we are shooting the show in a multi-camera format with an emphasis on a live feeling. We are able to post it very soon after each episode is shot, so I'm making the show as you're watching it. So that's that immediacy, that live feel. It does feel like like back in the days when television was always live.
Yeah, it wasn't edited.
It has that kind of feel, the 1-2 camera set. Now we got 4 cameras here, but it's used so sparingly that you would not be thought ill of for thinking there was only 1, maybe 2 cameras. Because it's not, like I said, it's unplugged TV. Mm-hmm. It's very stripped down. You're not, fancy camera angles, lights, music. It's the acting and the writing working in tandem. Oh God, the rehearsals for this must have been fucking amazing.
Like, yes. Trying to, yeah.
Oh, hold it. I've changed my fantasy. I don't want to have a drink. I want to have a drink at Horace and Pete's, but I want to sit in the corner at a rehearsal for an upcoming episode. Louis, I know you're listening to this. Please, I will fly anywhere in the world, wherever you're doing this, just to sit in the corner and watch a rehearsal. And then I will slink off and never darken your doorstep again. Let's talk about the waitress. The ex-waitress.
The ex-waitress.
The one that he calls for a booty call.
Oh, yes.
And we find that she left because her and Horace started sleeping together, but then Horace fell in love, and it got weird, and she had to go. And like, oh, Horace.
Son of a bitch. You poor son of a bitch.
And I tell you, that sometimes if you're sleeping with someone for long enough, it's like, where is this going? I feel like we're having all this sex. We should probably have some feelings for each other. And sometimes if you're both on the same track, then yes, feelings, and that goes there. And other times you're like, yeah. And they're like, no, I just want your dick. Please go away when you're done. And her story that she told about
terrible things happen to her too.
Oh my God!
See, that's what I mean. It's almost a little much with the misery dropped on. Like these are the most unlucky people on
It
Earth.
is, but there's something about it.
But there
that
is
just,
real to it. Bad shit happens to people all the time.
Exactly. Yeah. There's nothing supernatural or weird. It's just
It's every bad thing in life happens to these people.
Yes.
You know.
Except Uncle Pete, we found lost a son.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even though we know that he doesn't like kids.
Yes.
So he has. So there's something going on there, and maybe who knows? Maybe that's the linchpin of all his bitter curmudgeonly shit. Maybe he was a chipper, happy guy, and then his son died, and he was like, "Fuck life! I'm not going to kill myself."
Probably what it is.
Who knows? But you know what? This is Louis writing. It could be something completely different.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't like the kid anyway. It sucks that and it was something else, or maybe he was just born angry out of the womb.
Right. Right.
You know, slap the doctor back when you know.
And going back to the booty call episode, again, if I'm not mistaken, most of that episode is just the two of them.
It's a two scene one. This is the one where they talk about abortion in the bar.
That's right.
Downstairs, and Uncle Pete's like, "Why are you so uptight about everything? You need to get laid." And it goes in some weird thing about Asian women that I'm like, "Oh, Uncle."
Is he calling an Asian prostitute?
Yeah, but they're just like, you never slept with an Asian? My gosh, that's what they're for. I'm like, oh, like Asian women are there for guys. I'm like, oh Jesus, Uncle Pete. And that's one thing that I can do. I do it reflexively that other people might not. The writer is not the fucking writing. Louis C.K. does not.
Oh, no,
to the best of
no.
but some people. Harlan Ellison got just ripped to shreds over some of his stories and the way that his characters treat women. And he goes, it's a fucking character. I'm not doing this to women. I'm telling a story.
Yeah, about a terrible person. And that's
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that is something that I do reflect. Like, I don't associate any of these views of any of these characters with Louis himself.
No, that's Uncle Pete.
He's just, he's writing. He's pulling from wherever to put this out there. But some people are like, Louis is brave enough to write a script that contained a character saying the N-word.
Yeah.
And good for him, because that happens out there. It's a thing that happens, and it's not treated lightly or like it's okay to use that. It's not treated that way.
No, everyone knows it's bad.
Yeah,
in
well,
the bar.
Remember the Tourette's girl?
Yeah.
Another scene that we had where somebody that was in the insane asylum with Pete, with Steve Buscemi's character, finds him because he talked about it. He had nothing to do with her, but she called him apparently or wrote to him. And
she remembered Horace and Pete.
She tried to contact him,
yes.
and he never replied back.
Right.
But she remembered her. I moved into the area, thought I'd stop by, and there she was.
Yeah.
And she has Horace. She has Tourette's syndrome.
Yep.
Yeah, Horace syndrome. Yeah, a person with depression. Cock, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I like that. A depressed Tourette sufferer, like, bitch, But the way she describes Tourette's, I think, is wonderful. It's one of the topics they talk about, mental health, schizophrenia, what happens with Pete, what happens with her. And she described it, certain situations, your brain goes to the worst possible thing that you could say. And I've done this before, like, wow, if I said this right now, I would destroy my relationship with these people.
Well, that's just how the brain works.
Exactly.
It's a syndrome where it's the worst, your brain.
But it's a syndrome with Tourette's where you need to speak it out loud. A lot of us like, wow, if I were to suddenly, I don't know, slap this person or pour this drink into the grates of their stereo system, that would really mess up my relationship.
Yeah.
But you never do it because you're just like, wow, brain, why are you doing that to me?
Yeah, no, but everyone's brain does that. There's
Exactly.
not a syndrome, but it's a process, a thought process that goes through everyone's mind. It's like
what's
the worst thing.
Exactly.
It's like, if I just turn the steering wheel this much, I'll drive right off this bridge.
Exactly.
Why would you think about that?
Exactly. And of course, you never, ever, ever would ever do that. But your brain goes, excuse me, brain.
Yeah.
You're the one that's keeping me from doing it, but you're also the one saying, hey, wouldn't that be messed up?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah.
But with Tourette's, she explained it perfectly. It's like an itch that you have to scratch. You have to do it. So she says the worst thing in that situation. Yeah. And one of them, she used the N-word.
Yep.
And she turns to the black guy next to her at the bar and goes, I'm sorry. And he goes, oh, it's okay. I know there wasn't any hate behind it. I went, Thank you.
Yeah.
That's a good
And he even says
assessment
that-
of the
he
situation.
says the same thing to
Uncle
Uncle Pete,
Pete's
yeah.
like, I'm just gonna tease you more. I know you. I love you.
know,
Uncle,
yeah.
I love you, Uncle Pete.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's a weird dynamic that you don't see.
Yeah.
You don't get that, and that's a human thing, and I dig that.
Yeah.
And of course with Uncle Pete using the C word, like it was like the third. He uses it all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting back to favorite scenes,
Uh-huh.
one that was very, very, very subtle and well done that I really liked. Remember when Marcia came in with the gentleman who owns the tire shops?
Yeah.
And they're getting playful and, fun.
I knew guys like that too. Like, I would see those guys around Brooklyn a lot. The old guys who think they're 25 and have money and
Exactly. They've been working all their lives, and all of a sudden, in their late 50s or 60s, like, I've got money now.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to get the, So instead of going for the, the 20, 30-year-old, he's going for the, we'll say conservatively 50-year-old. Probably Jessica Lange's probably in her early 60s.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, still looking fine.
Beautiful
She's
woman,
looking
yeah.
like Helen Mirren fine for her
Yep.
age. And they're sitting at the table, and he wants to go out, get a steak, go take, do some stuff. And she's like, "No, I'm
Yeah, I'm fine right here."
here."
Yeah.
And he persists a little bit, and I'm watching that going, "Oh wow, she has comfort zones, and this is one. With you out of here, no, but with you here, I'm okay."
Yeah.
And that was just such a subtle piece, such a nuanced piece of writing and acting that that's probably one of my favorites.
Okay, yeah.
That was just
It was
just
great.
one of those. And of course, runner up is probably the Tinder date, the swipe right conversation.
Yeah, that was a really interesting.
That was kind of
because it didn't go anywhere. I mean, it didn't impact anything else in the show. It was just what it was.
It was just a slight, and that's the reason, why 4 years ago I chose a bar as the scene for what I wanted to do, because people sweep in and out,
Yeah.
and it works well for what I was trying to do, and it works well. Cheers, all these shows that take places in bars,
Yeah.
and now we have Sad Cheers.
Cheers.
And
Yep.
and it's wonderful. And we get people like, Laurie Metcalf showing up. Bam, and then she's gone.
Yep.
Edie Falco, which I think she's related to Horace, so I think we'll probably see her more often.
Oh yeah,
But-
and she's like the main antagonist, if you will.
Yeah, because the fate of the bar is in
Right.
question, but that could go on for who knows.
Oh, yeah.
who knows how long he's going to do that, and we probably are not going to see Laurie Metcalf again too much, because considering what he did to her and the whole thing, she was reaching out in a moment of, you are uniquely qualified to talk with about this,
Right.
and she's obviously, just watch the whole
Just
thing.
watch it, yeah,
There's
yeah.
so much. It unpacks and unfolds in a way that is so natural and so fucking good.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm astounded how fucking good the writing is on this.
I have a feeling we are going to revisit this show again on a future episode.
Hell yeah! I tell you, depending on how he puts them out, I would have no problem with doing a whole episode per episode of Horace and Pete. But probably
Perhaps.
maybe we'll collect a
Condense
few.
a few
Yeah,
down, yeah.
We're not going to be like talk salad and scrambled eggs.
Right,
We're
right, right.
And now we're talking about episode 7 of Horace and Pete, where
I mean, it can be done, but I mean, I think we can.
no, that's not what our show is about. It's about
Right.
a lot of other stuff. But let me tell you, I mean, I like the pop culture stuff. I like, the spandex and the capes and the fantasy and stuff like that. But this kind of shit is where I live.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd much rather watch an adaptation of some British drama by Merchant and Ivory than, well, not Batman. I really want to see Batman versus, but I mean,
I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying. I like it. I just, when the writing and the acting is there, yeah, put on some period costumes or whatever. But I am all about that kind of stuff. And Horace and Pete is that kind of stuff. So, any final thoughts on the 4 episodes of H&P?
H&P.
H&P. That's what all the cool kids are calling it. H&P.
Like I said, I had no idea what I was watching, and I didn't watch enough of it to understand it until I got to watch the rest of it. And I think I watched the entire 3.5 episodes in one shot, and
Good.
I think
Good.
I went right through it, and
Good.
yeah, it's amazing. It's it's unsettling,
Yes.
but it is brilliant.
It is.
Yeah.
And I'm blown away by it. I mean, literally, it doesn't happen very often to me where a piece of art, and let's face it, any creative expression is, I mean, Britney Spears is art in the sense that it's her creative or her and her team of 90 people creative expression.
But it counts. I know what you mean.
Yeah, but it's very rare that such a singular expression of creativity, it just hits you immediately.
Yeah.
I mean, I've talked about this before where probably in the last 5 years, there's probably 4 albums that immediately latched onto my soul from beginning to end. And some albums had some good tracks, but, whatever. But ones that were just like, this is now me,
Yeah.
I'm listening to this on replay like I did when I was a kid to the Grease soundtrack and pissing my mother off because she doesn't want to hear, Frankie My Love or whatever 900 times in a row.
Right.
But I'm hoping that Louis keeps able to do this.
Yeah.
And that's all I have to say about that. Now, before the credits, why don't we have an uncomfortable silence?
The 9 Million Names of Pod was conceived, written, and performed by Michael Reed and Dan Bauman, with Abdul Beni Hassan as the sound of splintering wood. Research, transportation, and exasperated looks by Courtney Lohner. Technical assistance by Cubase, Pro Tools, Skynet, QLab, Beatcloud, Big Brother, and Eddie, your shipboard computer. Financial consideration provided by the Wayne Foundation, Stark Industries, the Piranha Brothers, and LexCorp. Legal counsel by the offices of Howard and Fine. I got nothing. Nothing for this part right here. Our intro music was written by Tim Akers. This podcast was sponsored by Deep Shag Records and is a production of Audio Primate. Throw us a couple stars on iTunes, why don't you? Check us out on dadsgarageradio.net. Listen on SoundCloud, stream us on Stitcher, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, email us at comlink@billionpod.com, and brand new, check us out on YouTube. And until this happens again, I'm Dan Bauman.
I'm Michael Reed.
LOZ!
Audio Primate.